trial of LDN in the treatment of fibromyalgia at Stanford Medical Center, which is no mean medical center either, out in California. Just getting started this very month by Jared Younger of the Stanford Systems Neuroscience and Pain Lab. It is recruiting 40 individuals who are diagnosed with fibromyalgia and who live in the California Bay Area. The study, as many of the others, is placebo-controlled, double-blind, and crossover clinical trial. Participants will be taking LDN in one portion of the study and a placebo alternatively. The entire study takes 21 weeks, and participants will be taking either LDN or placebo for just 12 weeks. While in the study, participants will need to come to the Stanford Medical Center every 2 weeks for quick checkups. And the projected timetable that Jared told me about, he said October 1st, he sees the start of the study. February 1st, this coming year, he expects to obtain complete data on early participants. June 1st, final data collected, and July 1st, analyses conducted and manuscript submitted. Number 6, another U.S. prospective study of LDN and MS. This one, in May 2007, the so-called Mind-Brain, one word, Mind-Brain Consortium, and the Department of Psychiatry of Summa Hospital System of Akron, Ohio, along with nearby Oak Clinic for the treatment of multiple sclerosis, announced a new scientific study of the effects of treating MS with LDN. This one, the principal investigator is a psychologist, David Pincus, and colleagues. They're coordinating the study. 16 weeks, double-blind, randomized, placebo-controlled, crossover design, 36 patients with either progressive or relapsing remitting MS. The study will examine symptom severity as well as any changes in quality of life, sleep patterns, and affective, not effective, affective status. That's what they're particularly interested in. They're interested very much in feeling states and how that changes with LDN. They're interested very much in rumors that have been surfacing that mental fog improves a good deal when you take LDN, and they're looking at that cognitive aspect. They say the study will examine, I may have said this, symptom severity as well as any changes in quality of life, sleep patterns, and affective states. In early October, this is what Pincus wrote to me when I asked him to fill me in on how things were going. He says, we have enrolled more than 20 of the 36 people intended. We expect to be fully recruited within the next 3 to 4 weeks, and 3 months following the end of enrollment, we'll have all the data. The study's going well. A couple of people have dropped out or been removed for one reason or another, but none because of a problem with sleep. One patient had sleeping issues for a few nights, but then has been okay. We're looking at the psychoactive properties of LDN as well as assessing improvement of MS symptoms, and hope to find some changes in perception of energy level that correlate with personality type and amount of dreaming reported. I can't say for sure how long analysis will take, but all elements of data collection are occurring well. There's no reason to think that we will have a great delay in time for analysis. If we are permitted, he said, I'll pre-announce outcomes to your website as soon as we have them available. And then last, not a clinical trial, but worth mentioning, is another story coming out of Penn State. In 2006, the National Multiple Sclerosis Society, of all people, I mean, people who for years had actually had on their website a warning, you don't want to mess with this LDN stuff because, I mean, I'm not quoting them, but in paraphrase, because after all, we all know that, you know, autoimmune diseases are due to an aggressive immune system, and this strengthens the immune system, so, you know, stay away from it. They've softened considerably now because they've been barraged. The barrage of people writing them and saying, I'll never send you another penny unless you do something about this. So they reached deep into their pockets and came up with $40,000 for one of the outstanding basic researchers studying LDN, opioids, metenkephalin, and so forth for decades. PhD Dr. Ian Zagon at Pennsylvania State University in Hershey, and they awarded him a small pilot award, $44,000, for an animal study. Title of his project is Role of Opioid Peptides and Receptors in MS. The study treats an animal model of MS daily with either a high dose of naltrexone or a low dose of naltrexone to determine whether naltrexone influences disease course. Here's how Zagon described the project. This research project raises the question of whether endogenous opioids and opioid receptors influence the course of MS. This is a novel and innovative concept that is valuable to explore. To test this hypothesis, we are subjecting rats to experimental autoimmune encephalomyelitis, referred to as EAE as an acronym, a model that mimics MS. Animals will be treated daily with a high dose of naltrexone or a low dose of naltrexone. Our expectations are that continuous opioid receptor blockade, that means the high dose of naltrexone, will exacerbate the progression of MS, make it worse. Whereas a low dose of naltrexone will retard the course of this disease. Evidence for the involvement of endogenous opioids and opioid receptors in MS will open a new field of research related to the pathogenesis of this disease and contribute to the development of strategies for treatment. So that's why I say this is a breakthrough year.